I don't want to set the world on fire.
Welcome back. Finally, I think this is the first time the original trio has finally gotten together for the first boom of 2026 with the three of us back together. But of course, it is business as usual. I'm your host with the most as always, Cam G, and of course, the man to the right of me, that is my co-host at this time, that is Phil Kahn, and of course, the man at the bottom of your screen, that is the man on the ones and twos, Metalcore Mike. It has been a while since I've done intros, so forgive me, but. We are back once again, gentlemen, for a brand new episode of The Boom. The first for the three of us back here on the first episode. Might as well call this the first episode of The Boom for 2026. But gentlemen, before we get into Wednesday Night Dynamite Maximum Carnage, how is your Wednesday evening going?
I mean, does New Year's Day count though? Because we were here for New Year's Day. We'll just count that as 2025
with the three of us back.
Oh. Yeah, I should pay attention more, shouldn't I? Yeah, you're right on that.
That was just the two of us.
I'm getting old, okay? I'll just chalk that up as an old person's moment. It's Wednesday, you know? I'm going to say this. I love professional wrestling. And being a fan for about... What?
I'm reading the comment.
I'm guessing Roman came back. I'll take it.
Oh, great. Yep.
You know, if this mic wasn't the price it was, I would bang my head on this microphone right now to answer this. Jeez. I'm going to say this. I love professional wrestling and being a fan for as long as I've been, for going on 35 years. Sitting here and talking professional wrestling at least twice a week on Mondays and on Wednesdays, I look forward to it all the time. Whether a show is good, whether a show is bad, I look forward to it. Sometimes they give us stuff to talk about, and sometimes they make it hard for us to talk about things. But it always seems like no matter what we're given, we find something to talk about. And that's the great part. So I guess the real question is, was the show that bad if we're sitting here talking about it? I was thinking about this. Like, was the show truly that bad? Because if it was that bad, we would just be like, you know, maybe we should just talk about something else tonight. But instead, we're talking about the show that we watched regardless. So was it really that bad? Cam, me and you talked about this the other day of trying to go into 2026 with a more positive outlook on professional wrestling. Okay. And I know that's gotta laugh at that because
it's hard to come by.
I'm laughing because it's already been thrown out of the window because of this show, but I'll get into that. Continue.
Okay. So here's the thing, is because I threw my tantrum last Friday night, right? And you know about the tantrum. Phil, you weren't able to see this tantrum because it was off air. I threw a tantrum last Friday. I did. I was like a child, and Cam knows it because he caught the brunt of it.
He unfortunately saw it.
He didn't see it, but he was the first person I messaged, and yeah, he had to kind of check me.
He had to be your punching bag. He had to be the guy that hurt him.
He wasn't my punching bag, but he had to check me. He had to remind me, like, hey, we're going into 2026 with the more positive outlook on professional wrestling. But with that being said, like, I sit here thinking, like, was the show really that bad to the point where we still find ways to talk about it and to give our perspective on what's going on? Now, tonight's show, this one was tough because they built this show up for 3 weeks. 3 weeks they built this show up. They called it Maximum Carnage. What was so maximum and what was so carnage about it? Because it just felt like a dry, normal episode of Dynamite. And again, trying to go into 2026 with a positive outlook. I think I hit the nail on the head with what Cam just said. We're going to talk about this show in a moment, and he's going to explain why that positive look kind of went away as quick as it did.
I don't take the names of the shows anymore to be like anything gospel. I just go into an episode of AEW Dynamite as a regular episode of AEW Dynamite. Just so that I don't get disappointed with myself, because I know that when it comes down to it, Maximum Carnage ain't going to be all that maximum or Carnage, like as you say. So it's just, I just take it as a name.
I want to show you guys a video, and this video was taken right as the main event was going into the ring. Okay, no bullshit. I don't want to play the sound because it would be really loud, but that's why I recorded it the way I did, and the sound in the background is the main event. Okay, and this video speaks volumes for tonight. Are we gonna play? Okay. She's watching. Up, and out. She fell asleep as the main event started. And that kind of summed things up for tonight. I was like, if she's falling asleep, geez. Like, what's wrong here? I tried to be funny. It didn't work. It's okay.
Well, I would say in general, this show could put more than just dogs to sleep. I think they could put babies to sleep as well. Well, gentlemen, I think we're going to get into AEW Dynamite Maximum Carnage, which was a pretty subpar. I think that's being nice about it. Show. I'll be honest. I think the first half of this show, I could accept. I could reasonably say it was okay. Not good. Definitely a far cry from great, but I could accept it. Until one particular tag team match that was an absolute head scratcher of the finish and why they decided to go with this particular tag team to win that match. But I'm jumping ahead. We will get there, and that I think was my biggest complaint about this particular program. But of course, we open and they are previewing the card for Maximum Carnage. You know, typical AEW Dynamite opening when they preview the card and all that jazz. That's great. Cool, whatever. Pyro's going off. Fans are going crazy. Great. Fantastic. Our first promo was Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe says he put a bounty on one Hangman Adam Page, and that bounty has been posted. And of course, again, that bounty would be fulfilled by none other than the bad apple Brian Keith, who said the first meeting between the two, he basically got beat like he stole something from Hangman Adam Page, and this time he is coming to steal it back. And that this is the opportunity to make it personal between him and Hangman Adam Page. And it is time to pay up, he tells Hangman Adam Page, and that's how he ends the particular promo. Not a bad promo from Samoa Joe. Again, I don't think the man has a bad promo in his body. I just don't think he has the ability to produce a bad promo. Very iffy, sketchy, I guess, whatever word you want to put there for Brian Keith. I don't hear Brian Keith talk much, so I really can't judge this particular promo next to any other promo he's had in AEW or his duration in his career, I guess. But very, very interesting, I guess. Now, again, I'm jumping ahead here. Before I get into their match, which will be later, that wasn't the first match, anyways. I feel like they could have done this bounty thing a little bit better. Matter of fact, a lot better. Where you could have just had a backstage segment where the bounty is being fulfilled and Hangman just get attacked. You didn't need to have a match, because I don't really know what Brian Keith is really getting out of this. I don't think Samoa Joe actually said what Brian Keith is getting out of this. I mean, is he getting some kind of money? Is he getting some, I don't know, Ops Dojo membership? I don't know. What's
minutes
the
of
point
TV
of
time?
That's exactly
no
it.
idea.
Just minutes of
No
TV
clue.
time. That's it.
No
There's
idea.
nothing.
and an instant name change from one thing to another, because he came walking out and I'm like, since when the hell did he turn into the bounty hunter? Like,
Oh,
what
he's
the
been
fuck?
known as that. He's been known as that, actually.
I'm gonna admit, I turned the show on like 10 minutes late, so I missed the promo.
No. Well,
So
yeah.
that's what kind of, yeah, I mean, that's what kind of that's what kind of scratched my head, and you kind of answered that question for me, is like, when the hell did he become the bounty hunter? Like, what is this? Who? Why? Why? And now you just kind of answered that question for me. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's why.
So, but anyways, once again, I'm jumping ahead here. The first match of the night was Darby Allin versus Pac. Again, a feud that I had said this 2 weeks ago. I'm pretty much done with. Again, the whole Death Riders thing in Darby Allin. Everybody that was involved along with Darby Allin against the Death Riders, they've moved on. They've moved on to other things. Orange Cassidy's off doing this random thruple thing with Mina and Tony, and everybody else, I don't know, is probably, I don't know, off playing patty cake on Collision. I have no idea, but he's the only one that's still left feuding with the Death Riders. So let's just be done with it.
Obsessed, right. You should say.
Let's just be done with it. I don't care. Like let's just be done with this thing. So Darby Allin versus Pac. Again, there was absolute chaos in this match. Of course, Darby, of course, he does what he does best, right? And he dives off things, and he's just absolutely getting destroyed most of this match. And a lot of this all happened before the bell had even rung. I had seen probably one of the sickest belly to bellies I have ever seen, where Pac had bellied Darby Allin onto steel steps. The sound of that was absolutely sickening. And like I said, all of this was just happened before the bell had even rung. So again, we're basically having a match before the match even starts. And of course, the match happens. An okay match. I can't really say the match was bad. And in a shocking turn of events, if you ask me, Darby Allin ends up winning this match, but he makes Pac tap out, which I didn't see coming at all. And now, and I think Excalibur had said this, now that Darby Allin has beaten Pac, he has now beaten every member of the Death Riders. Whoop-de-doo. I don't know.
So now can we be done?
I don't know. I don't know if you're getting a trophy or a ribbon or I don't know, some kind of consolation prize for that. I don't know what significance that really has moving forward with Darby Allin, but let's just hope. I hope we're done with this and we can move Darby Allin on to something bigger, better, and more important. So I'm gonna get you guys' thoughts on this particular match, Pac versus Darby Allin. Mike, I'm so with you.
I was going to say Darby Allin's going to get a cake because it was baked as fast as they can be with everybody else playing patty cakes. Get it? Patty cake, baker man, bake me a cake as fast as they can. Yeah, he's going to get a cake. So there it is. I have a feeling that Darby Allin is not going to be satisfied, and I have a feeling we're going to get another match between him and Pac. Why? Because there's one thing that he didn't do, and that was pin Pac. He made him tap out, but he didn't pin him. They're going to find another reason for this match to happen again, and that is going to be the reason. You didn't pin him. The only way they would make this a little interesting is if they make it like a 20-minute Iron Man match. Whoever scores the most pinfalls and submissions wins. Make it like a 20-minute Iron Man match and then close it out if that's going to be it. Because other than that, it should not happen again. Is Darby Allin going to be satisfied? Hopefully. Hopefully this is it. Hopefully he can move on. But then the question is, well, what do you do with Darby Allin? Because the only other thing that you can look at for Darby Allin to do is go after the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, if I'm wrong on that, I hope somebody has an explanation on why I'd be wrong on that and give me a better suggestion than him just, a different suggestion, not a better suggestion, because there's nothing better than going after the world title. But like a different suggestion of what Darby Allin can do other than go after the world title, because that's should be the focus moving forward.
Yeah.
But the problem is there are now, and sorry for jumping ahead, 3 guys that want to go after, scratch that, 4 guys that want to go after the world championship, and pretty much one of them skipped in front of Darby Allin for some reason. I'm not mad at it. But at the same time, it's like, hold on, Darby Allin came in, beat every member of the Death Rider, closed this chapter, and we have somebody that makes their comeback and automatically, I got to win a few matches to win the world title. Great. So now we have 5 people around the world title. It's like we're rewatching an episode of Dynamite from a year ago when 13 fucking people were the number 1 contender. So now I'm starting to see where you're coming from, Cam. Like the light bulb just turned on and what you meant by that, the negativity kind of, snuck in. Because we're up to now 4 people. And if Darby is the 5th, then it's like, okay, well then when does he get his shot? And is this going to be the time you put the title on him? I think right now is the wrong time to even think of doing that. Until you clear up everybody and get everybody out of the way, I don't think it'd be the right time to put the belt on Darby Allin. Probably not even in 2026. Might have to wait another year. But then what do we get in 2027? Newer challengers. More guys coming in and saying, I deserve a world title shot.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you do with Darby Allin moving forward? We know the guy can do everything that needs to be done. He can entertain. He can do everything. But the same repetition of storylines. I got to beat this guy and I got to beat that guy to get to where I want to be. Dude, you do this almost all the time in different forms and in wording, and I got to accomplish this to get to here. And then you never get to where you want to be. What made this any different? Nothing.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to do with Darby from here. Just move him away from the Death Riders. That's it. Plain and simple.
What's up, Caitlin?
Phil, your thoughts?
I'm not even really going to go into the match because the match really wasn't, to me, all that important. With everything that's happening right now with Darby Allin, he needed to defeat all 4 members of, it's 4. Wait, no. He needed to defeat all 5 of the men in the Death Riders in order to make himself feel a little bit more important. Yeah. He needed to make himself feel a little bit more important after climbing Mount Everest. He did that now. Great. Thank you. Fantastic. At the end of the day, it just doesn't matter to me. After all of this that he went through, climbing the mountain and instead becoming the AEW World Champion when he was clearly going to be positioned in order to get there at first. Now, you do all of this. Jon Moxley is somewhat of a babyface now after being cheered after going through all the entire Continental Classic and now getting cheered as a Continental Champion. It makes no sense to me now at that point. And then, now you're getting Darby Allin in this whole entire situation. And I pray to God that we don't get to see him and Pac again because we're done. I just don't want it anymore. So now we got to figure out what's next. I don't know what's next. Yeah, sure, the World Championship seems kind of like a good explanation to go after now. But like Mike said, there's like 4 or 5 other guys now. And at this point in time, if Darby Allin were to become the AEW Men's World Champion, I just simply wouldn't care.
They missed it. Oh, sorry.
Just simply because it's far too late. I'm good now.
They missed out on a great opportunity with Darby Allin. He climbs Mount Everest. He planted the flag of AEW at the top of that mountain. Okay. You put together a nice promo package of him doing so. That should have been the start of Darby Allin's path of coming back to AEW and going after the AEW world title. Instead, you'd had him coming back and feuding with a group where at the end of the day, it doesn't make any sense. They had money literally on the table after they showed a video of him planting that flag or a picture of him planting that flag, had money on the table. If this was the other company, I guarantee they would have taken advantage of that. They would have had whoever climbed that mountain come back down, get yourself rested. We'll see you in a month or 2. And then when you're ready to go, we're strapping that rocket. So you better be ready to take off.
Because we won the world title in the other one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They would have been world champion. But instead it's let's come down the mountain and Darby just rest for a little bit. But then you're going to come back and you're going to, you're going to feud with the Death Riders. Okay. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to beat every member, but Pac. And then it's going to come down to you need to beat Pac in order to go after the world title. But I promise you that that's not going to be the case. I'm going to have 5 other guys going after that world title, so you are going to have to wait.
And one of the Death Riders are not even the world champion anymore.
No.
Get
Instead, it should have been you planted that flag, come down, rest up for a month or 2, get ready. We're strapping that rocket to your back, and we are getting you that path to the world championship, and you will be holding that world title at the end of World's End in 2025. You are going into 2026, and that could have set up a great match between him and Max at Double or Nothing. Could have set up a great storyline between him and Max, even for Revolution. They could have done it sooner. Revolution. They could have done it sooner. I'm not mad that they put the belt on Max. I was predicting that for a month that situation was going to happen because it was right there. It was easy to sit here and say Max is going to come back and win the world title with that contract.
It needed to happen too, yeah.
But they set it up, and the story was there. So great job on picking up on that story. But the story of Darby Allin, you made such a big deal of him climbing Mount Everest. Now, yeah, you mentioned on TV, congratulations, Darby. What the fuck did you do with it? They didn't do anything, not Darby, but AEW. What'd you do with it? Nothing. You had money on the table, and you didn't take it.
I feel like AEW put him in this kind of situation and position to go after all of the members of the Death Riders just so that they can try to validate him climbing Mount Everest when he should have been the AEW Men's World Champion at the end of all of that. Like, they try to validate that. Like, it's a good job that he did that. Look, yeah, good job. You survived it. Everything's all good. You're here now in the company, but now you should have been an AEW World Champion one time over at this point, and now there's just no end in sight. We got to figure out when is going to be the opportune time to do it, and it might not ever be an opportune time because you got Samoa Joe, you got Hangman Adam Page, Kenny Omega, Swerve Strickland, and whoever else is going to come into the company because AEW just signed 4 other guys.
They could have had Darby come off that mountain and come in, win the Continental Classic, win the Dynamite Diamond Ring, pathway to the world title. They had it right on the table, and they just let it blow right off.
The only thing I can think of is you have him feud with one or the other. Right now, I think these 2 guys I feel like are kind of, I don't know, safeguarding, I think, the number 1 contendership path to the world championship, and that's either Swerve or Hangman Adam Page. You haven't feud with one of them 2. That's the only thing I can think of. That's it. I mean, what you do with that, I don't know. But
didn't he feud with Swerve at one point? Yeah, when him and Sting were a tag team, they had that coffin match in England when they did the first event out at
when Swerve
Wembley.
Yeah.
And that's when Swerve got put in the coffin. He was out for a couple months, and then he came back, and he pathed his way to the world title.
Did Swerve team with Christian?
Yeah. Yep.
I thought it was that. Yeah, it was that.
Yep.
Sure did.
That was for All In.
Strange, but I guess
All in London.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
So I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of to do with Darby, and that being his next path. But who knows? They could swerve. Get it? They could swerve us all. I don't know. But
I think it's just too far gone at this point with the world title run for him. And I would love it if he actually ever were to become a world champion, but it's far too gone now.
I still think he will be world champion at some point. But they just have to really sit down and map out a serious role or path, storyline, whatever you want to call it, to get there.
And I know the AEW fans will care.
Yeah,
I know the AEW fans will care that when they finally position him in there. But not everybody will, considering it's been far too gone.
They're still gonna have to make it a very climatic moment. Like, they cannot make it an anticlimactic moment. They can't,
of course.
And that's what I mean. They have to. They literally have to sit down and get serious about a storyline that people are really going to care about and connect with.
Invest,
when it comes to Darby,
Yep.
to getting him there.
Yep.
It can't just be some garbage. They
Yeah.
just like
The
picked
fuck?
up off the floor and just said, "Oh yeah, here you go. This is the path."
Like they did with Samoa Joe, just randomly just put the world title on him.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
yeah, all right, Joe, go for it.
that ain't gonna work. They would be missing out on so much potential on the pop and the buzz online and
Yeah.
all that stuff. It just wouldn't work. So, but we'll definitely have to see what we could talk about this. We're blue in the face.
We can.
But we'll definitely see what happens with Darby Allin and what's next for him. But moving on from there, the match that I was mentioning earlier, Brian Keith versus Hangman and Page. Again, like I said, as I said earlier, very confused on just what Brian Keith is really gaining from this. Really, I think it was just TV time because he's never on Dynamite anymore. I didn't even know him and Big Bill were even still a thing.
Yeah,
I had no idea. I haven't seen Big Bill. That's
Yeah.
another person I haven't seen in eons. It is Big Bill. So I didn't even know that was still even a freaking
Probably Ring of Honor stuff.
Yeah, I think he's a little
Yeah.
bigger on Ring of Honor.
partnership. Yeah, I would assume so. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I just didn't understand the whole Brian Keith thing and the whole bounty thing. I feel like this just could have been a quick backstage attack and we could have been done with it. Of course, Hangman wins this match. Shocker. After the match, of course, well, before that, actually, the interference was by Swerve to help Hangman and Page. Again, with this whole partnership thing, I'm not a fan of it really because I mean they're both after the same thing. Again, for me, I like it better if they were just feuding, going after, or having the world championship implications. I feel like that would sort of clean up the chaos that is surrounding the world title right now.
Yeah.
If you just had them off on their feud, no championship, no nothing. But again, world championship implications, I think that would be a lot better versus them being so close to the world title scene. And they're both after the world title, but at the same time, they're like partners. It's weird. So I don't know where they what I don't know what they're trying to accomplish with that. I have no idea.
If I can just jump in, that's what kind of intrigues me about it the most, though, to me. Because of the fact that they are so focused on that same goal, becoming the AEW World Champion, that at some point it will implode between the two, and we will get back to that.
Yeah, I
If
can see that.
if you really pay attention to what they talked about though, and really like listen to the promo post match, I'll say this right now just to get it out of the way. Match was okay. That was it. I mean, again, Brian Keith came out and I'm all of a sudden a bounty hunter. Dude, you weren't collecting. Like you weren't beating Hangman.
You weren't gonna collect the debt, so just
Fucking
you,
nothing.
Fuck you thinking, dude. But with
you're
the
not gonna win
promo,
it.
if you pay attention to how they were talking, it almost seems like Swerve is the guy that's going to get the shot first, because he even mentioned it to Kenny, like, he's going to have to wait for him. And Hangman really didn't react too much to it. It was Swerve more so saying like, I'm going first, where Kenny is like, yeah, I'm going to have to beat some people to get a world title shot. So I have me personally, I have a feeling that Swerve is going to be the first one out of the bunch. It would probably be better if they did something to where this whole thing imploded, because we know that Hangman and Swerve against each other is much better and entertaining than them with each other.
Yeah.
The rivalry is just there. We talk about it all the time to where, they can have a show set up and they have to insert a match. They can go right to Hangman and Swerve and say, hey, need you guys in the ring for 20 minutes.
Plug and play.
Exactly. We need a 20-minute, banger. Go do it. All right, cool. We're in. And that's it. But it seemed like Swerve is the guy that's going to get the shot first. That's what I got from it.
I don't know what AEW is going to be doing with those three, but if I were to venture a guess, because you got to set up something between MJF and whoever one of these three will get the first shot for Revolution, I'm assuming. We got Grand Slam in Australia coming up soon in February. It's sometime in February. I don't know why, but I just seem some sort of like sneaky suspicion to where Tony Khan is going to want to get all three of these guys in the same ring at once to crown a number one contender for Revolution, and we could possibly see a triple threat. I'm not saying that that's exactly what's going to be happening, but I can just envision Tony Khan wanting to make a huge match for that number one contendership to get there, and you get a triple threat between those three guys to get to a match at Revolution.
It's on Valentine's Day, February 14th.
Interesting. But
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, I can just envision seeing Tony Khan doing something like that to where all three of those guys get in a ring, crown a number one contender for Revolution, and it could be either one of those three men.
They got
and I'm fine with that. I don't mind that idea.
It's just who gets pinned there, and then what happens after that.
Revolution.
That's just for me.
Revolution's not in February this year.
Revolution's in March. I know that. It's in the middle of March.
15th.
Yeah, it's in the middle of March. But I'm just saying, like, just to set up a number one contender so you can build that and have a few weeks to build there.
I don't mind the triple threat between the three. I think that just makes the most sense. But it just feels like there's something missing with that though.
Yeah.
Like there needs to be something major to happen. And I just don't know what.
Are you talking about Kenny, Swerve, and Hangman?
Yeah,
is that who you're talking about?
Those would be
something
the
major happening.
Oh, I thought you were talking Joe, Swerve, Hangman.
Oh no, Joe. I don't know what the heck is going to be happening with him. But
that's what I thought.
The fact that we got Kenny, Swerve, and Hangman in the same ring, all talking about that world championship, I can envision Tony Khan putting those three men together in that triple threat to get a number one contender for Revolution.
I could see that. Honestly, I could see that, but honestly, I think what I would do more than that is I would just do a straight up one-on-one with Swerve and Hangman. Hangman beats Swerve in it would be probably not cleanly, it would be in some weird floppy finish.
Chicken shit finish.
Yeah. And then it'd be Kenny and Hangman. And then that's where where we talk about that implosion between Hangman and Swerve would happen, because you would have Swerve interfere in that match and he turns on Hangman.
Hangman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it Revolution to where they had their number one contender match or whatever for the finals of that tournament? So if it was, wouldn't this be like the third time in like 4 years that they met at Revolution? Wouldn't it be? Is it Revolution am I thinking about, or is it Full Gear?
What tournament are you talking about?
A number one contenders tournament, because they fought in a number one contenders tournament and the finals were at a pay-per-view, and it was the 1 year anniversary of them battling in like some other different. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do. I'm just
I'm trying to think whether it was Full Gear or Revolution. I do have an off question why we talk about it, and it does stick with Samoa Joe. Why is it when the Ops was created and they were baby faces, they were all badass, like, oh, we're ready to fight and everything like that. And now they're being chicken shit heels. Like, oh, we're going to hire somebody to bounty hunt Hangman. Like, why flip the script? You know, they were a badass group when they were baby faces. Why do we have to make them chicken shit heels? I don't get that. Like, that makes no sense.
I don't even think so much that they're chicken shit heels. I just think that they follow whatever Joe does. So if Joe's gonna come out there like a badass and be like, yeah, I run the world, they're naturally gonna follow behind him because he's kind of like their leader.
But what I mean is, like, when they were baby faces, when the Ops first got created, like, they were so bad, like, we're ready to fight, like, we'll fight anybody on any given night, and yada yada yada. And now the group is heels, and it's like, oh, we got to hire somebody to hunt down Hangman because we don't want to do it ourselves. We don't want to take those chances. So, like,
I also think it's
what's the point?
I also think it's just that heel switch. As baby faces, they were just like, okay, we gotta be the Avengers. We gotta fight everybody. You know what I mean? Now as heels, it's like, well, we don't need to fight because we're better than that.
I still want to get my Ops shirt.
Even though we're like 8 months late, but yeah, I understand it.
I mean,
I get it.
Just money wasn't there for it.
We were all so behind them in the beginning.
So pumped.
Right?
And it's just like
we were doing like the hashtag for the Ops, or just like, you know, just doing all of this. Like, the Ops are our thing. But
seeing if they have,
they've fallen so much.
So much.
Last time I checked, their shirt wasn't available. I'm looking.
Phil, did you give your thoughts on this match?
What?
Brian Keith and Hangman Page.
Oh, the match is just a match, dude. I mean, we all knew Hangman was winning that. I mean, it really wasn't anything all that important, and he was never going to collect his debt on the bounty anyway. So,
No. After the match, we
still
got
not available.
Is it available?
I'm looking. I gotta look under I gotta look under Samoa Joe and everything because I typed in the ops and I'm not seeing it, but maybe, just maybe, it's under one of the guys. So I'm looking.
Speaking of the ops for a moment, Powerhouse Hobbs is almost like gone from AEW. Like Sean Ross Sapp literally reported that he's just done with AEW now. His contract
is
expired.
he really?
Yeah. And apparently is selected to go to WWE.
They don't have
no way.
It's literally reported by Sean Ross Sapp and Fightful right now.
it.
That's
just
crazy.
What's up, Jax?
Hey, what's up, Jax?
They don't have it. I'm kind
That's
of
insane.
Yeah, right here.
It's that heel effect.
Well, at least a free agent. But yeah, he's a free agent now. And he could possibly go.
He's a fucking champion.
WWE.
What's he gonna do? Hand the belt over to? Oh, they'll probably lose it now that they're gonna be defending the belts.
Oh,
They're
they're
gonna
gonna lose the titles to Jet Speed and Hangman.
They're gonna defend the titles on
Ew.
Saturday against Hangman and Jet Speed.
So we're gonna have new trios champions on set. I can always, I mean, if you want, I could see if there's gonna be a spoiler on it tonight, and we can find out.
Powerhouse Hobbs contract expires today. Expected to sign with WWE per Fightful Select.
That's the most eyesore trio ever. You gotta be joking.
I mean, I knew WWE was interested in Powerhouse, but I didn't think his contract was literally
That's
expiring and making that happen.
Now entering the
wow.
Twitchverse, coming in hot through the Shadow Sphere.
Wow, Hangman and Jet Speed, trios champions, eh?
I don't
trying
like
to-
it at all.
I'm trying to
weird.
I'm trying to see if there's any spoilers for us to see if they win the titles before Saturday, because I'm sure you guys don't care if.
Oh, I don't care at all.
I ain't watching it anyway.
Yeah, that's what I figured. There is no Collision tonight. It airs Saturday, but this Wednesday's major event, Dynamite Carnage. Blah, blah, blah. So they're fucking. Then why write that? That's so stupid. Oh, there is no Collision tonight, but it's
Well,
like
they're probably not
taping
taping
it tonight. They are taping.
They are
it tonight.
taping?
Yeah, they're taping it tonight. I found it. The first title reign for Hangman and the Ops held the title. Hold on, Hangman, Page, and Jet Speed won the trios championships.
Yep.
They won them.
Jesus Christ.
There it is.
That's
So they are the new trios champions.
Simply
Yeah.
due to the fact of
disgusted.
Powerhouse leaving AEW to go to WWE.
I'm disgusted.
There you go. Well, they're the new champions.
Good
Couldn't get
God.
the tag belts, so guess what? Let's get a trios belt.
I just found that so random when that segment happened, and then all of a sudden I was like, it seems random, but I guess I'm okay with it. But then all of a sudden I see this now.
Well, guess what? Now they're our new trios champions.
Oh, and I hate every minute of it.
And you know they're going
having
to try to
seen on
find
TV
some
about it.
way. And you know they're going to try to find some way to make Jet Speed and Hangman a thing. Like they're going to try to combine the name and make something happen. Before
They
them.
teamed before. They do have a name. The
Then
Jet
what are
Speed
they?
Cowboys. The Jet Speed Cowboys.
What the fuck? When's that been a thing?
They
They
announced it tonight because they teamed up before.
They teamed last August
Yeah,
on
the
Collision.
Jet Speed Cowboys.
If it was on Collision, Kim, I'm not going to watch it. What the hell?
Hey, I only know that because they showed a clip of it tonight.
Tonight, yeah,
wouldn't-
that's how
wouldn't
I
have
know
known
about
that
it.
either. I don't watch Collision.
Yeah, that's how I know about it when they announced it tonight.
I
Like
must-
the Jet
I
Speed
must-
Cowboys.
I must have been
Watch
out of
that
the room.
garbage.
If I
Somebody tweeted it and it showed up on the screen and it named them the Jet Speed Cowboys and they ran with it. So the
well,
Jet
whoever
Speed
that
Cowboys.
whoever tweeted that should get royalties. 'cause
They were get some
stole
freaking
their name.
royalties for a T-shirt or something.
They stole the name.
But anyway,
All right. Well, shoot. Well, good luck, Powerhouse. I guess.
so we already briefly talked about what happened after the match with the whole promo, and they're both gunning for MJF in the World Championship.
Yeah.
We'll have to see what happens there. After that, I believe Kenny Omega came out. And like I said, it just rejuvenated Kenny Omega because something just feels different about Kenny Omega. It definitely feels like they are definitely refocusing on Kenny Omega. And I had said it before 2 weeks ago that instead of just giving Kenny Omega a number one contendership and having him fight MJF for the world championship, have him earn it. Have him actually fight his way through a number of people or contenders or former world champions or whatnot have you to put him in position to be the number one contender. And it seems like they're doing that, which seems great. This seems like the second best thing that Dynamite is doing right, or AEW is doing right now, next to MJF being world champion. So I like where they're going with it. It seems like, to what Phil had said, maybe a triple threat thing, no more contendership between him and Hangman and Swerve, or like I said, potentially doing a one-on-one with Swerve and Hangman, and then doing a one-on-one with Kenny Omega for the more contendership. Either or, I like where that's going. There was a Don Callis interruption. He wants Kenny Omega to be able to fight the walking weapon, Josh Alexander. Now, Kenny Omega,
he's always been known as that. What are we doing here?
He wanted. I'm not saying anything. That's just his nickname.
He's always been known as that.
I didn't say anything. He wanted to fight him tonight, but of course, Don Callis ends up announcing his own terms, and they are going to have their match next week. So Josh Alexander will be fighting Kenny Omega next week. So again, this is kind of what Kenny Omega had said, phase one into again, completing his path back to the AEW World Championship, chasing after MJF, the current world champion. So we definitely have to see what happens there. If you guys have anything on that, or potentially what we could see next week between Josh Alexander and Kenny Omega, Phil, I'll start with you.
Guess. I want Mike to go first because he obviously has something to say.
How is it an EVP doesn't have power over a manager in making matches? That's my question. You literally mentioned you were an EVP of the company, but you're letting Don Callis, a manager, say, no, not tonight. It's not going to happen. Oh, looks like we're going to have the match next week then. See you guys.
Don Callis, and he's a chicken shit heel like he always is.
But it's like, how the fuck do you're an EVP. You can make matches. So tell him, no, go get your fucking gear on in 10 minutes and we'll be back out here, beating the shit out of each other. Like, what are you doing?
Because you want to know why. You want to know why they needed to make time for Brody King to take on whoever the heck that Jonathan Cruz guy was. That's what they needed to do. So
waste of time.
Yeah. Look, at the end of the day,
that match was 30 seconds.
I understand that. Yes, I know.
That could have been the fill-in for Kenny and Josh to go get dressed for their match. Jesus. You're telling me they didn't have time for a 30-second ass kicking?
Nope.
Come on now. And it's not the fact.
And Josh is going to lose anyway, which sucks because I freaking love that guy, and he's the 96th member of the Don Callis family.
AEW is not doing great with him.
They absolutely are not. No, they're not at all.
And Kenny
good.
And the whole thing, if Kenny Omega doesn't overbook himself, Shadow, the thing is Kenny Omega has been gone for so long, but the whole disconnect was the fact that everybody knows Omega's an EVP. Like, I get it. You're trying to stick to storyline and him being a wrestler over being an EVP. Well, then don't fucking mention on TV you're an EVP.
Yeah.
Because they're
not trying to do the overpowering EVP thing anymore, I guess.
Because believe it or not,
that's the Bucks. That's the Bucks thing, though, not Kenny.
But believe it or not, there's fans out there that may not know Kenny's an EVP.
Yeah, true.
So if you don't
watchers,
if you don't mention it on TV, like he did, then this makes sense. But don't mention you're an EVP and then letting a manager decide whether a match gets made or not.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm with you where it comes to not mentioning the EVP thing. I think we can just do away with that in 2026 in general, because it really doesn't serve any sort of purpose on AEW television anymore. Like the Bucks have gone back to just the castles and bright colored Bucks.
They're
So
back.
it
They're
really
back
doesn't-
to they're back
doesn't
to
hold
their
any weight.
young selves.
Yeah.
Like
So
just
it doesn't
when they're
hold any weight to anything they're doing in storyline wise. So I don't think we need to be reminded that they're EVPs. Who cares at this point? So
isn't
But it was
Hangman technically an EVP too, or at least somewhat of a higher power in there?
no, actually, he wasn't. He
Oh, I
never
thought he
was.
was.
it was
Oh.
Kenny the Bucks, Cody, and Tony. And
it.
I know what's his name? He was on the show tonight, but he was in that backstage segment. They were like trying to act him as like a general manager, but apparently he has some Christopher Daniels has like some
CD,
type of hand into things.
Yeah, he does.
Well, I believe CD is like a I think he's head of talent relations over there now.
Yes, he
But,
is.
There you go. There you go.
But yeah, well, I guess because of his association with all of them, I just thought it's my bad. But regardless, I understand where you're coming from for sure, Mike, but it just meant nothing. And they're just gonna have Josh Alexander lose, and I hate that.
They're not doing anything good with him, which really disappoints me, because if you go back to 2 years ago when he was in Impact, he was an Impact World Champion. He was running the gauntlet. I mean, he was part of the reason why I got back in Impact. And I just came across the post I made. It was like 2 or 3 years ago when he took on Bully Ray in the world title match at the beginning of the pay-per-view. It was the first pay-per-view of the year, and it was the opening match of the show. And I was kind of surprised it was the opening match show, but then I realized, hold on, this is Mickie James's, like, if she don't win the world title, she ought to retire. It was that night.
It was that show. Yes.
And Mickie walked out as world champion.
I loved that show, by the way, too. That was such a great show.
Those two matches alone sold me, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to order the Impact show tonight. And it was only $10 because it was an Impact Plus exclusive too.
Right. Yep.
So I was able to order it on where do you order? Huh?
It was TNA Plus probably at the time.
Not TNA Plus. It was the other app, the Fight app. Fight.
Oh, Fight TV.
Yeah. So they had it up for $10, and I was like, it's $10. Why not? Like, and it was such a great show, and it sucked me back in. The problem is I couldn't watch Impact on a normal basis. So I had to follow everything online, story-wise. And then if I was able to afford like the $40 pay-per-views, I would do it. But I would normally just order like the $10 pay-per-views because it's $10. Like, why wouldn't I? It's wrestling. I want to watch a show. There we go. And it's just him being the world champion, and the run he was having was so good. And it's like, okay, you see him go to AEW. He's going on a bigger stage. We know how good he is. What are they going to do with him? And they did. They have done absolutely nothing with him.
They immediately put him as the 96th member of the Don Callis family, and they haven't done shit. If he was a part of TNA right now with that ABC deal that's coming here, he's right there at the top.
We'd see him on NXT and everything too. That's where we'd see him.
Yeah, like he's right there, and he.
You know what's so odd is back when like Cody was still there. I remember when Brandy was mentioning Josh Alexander.
Oh yeah.
So it's just like you finally get Josh Alexander after all these years, and you just have him as a background character. That's it.
Well, AEW also had like that small partnership with Impact at the time.
Yeah,
when they were there.
And that basically did nothing for them either.
No. Other than Kenny holding 4 world titles at the time.
He was the belt collector. And
Jax, TNA is actually moving to regular cable, so it's going to be on my cable. I think it starts this week. Yeah, it starts this week. Tomorrow. Yeah. So I'll actually be able to watch TNA on a weekly basis now, which is
I love it.
Awesome.
They're on AMC.
Yeah.
A lot, not even just a lot. Like, my God, the entire world pretty much.
They got to produce a banger
now.
tomorrow night. I don't care. They got to produce a banger.
And they'll probably have some NXT guys on there just to kind of help.
AJ Styles is making an appearance.
Yeah, but he's a TNA guy.
Well, I know that, but I'm just saying AJ Styles is making an appearance, so obviously they're doing big things on that show.
Yeah,
they got a world title match on that show too. So I mean, they're living it up.
I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see it.
So yeah, we'll definitely see. I mean, like I said, it should be good. It should be good tomorrow night for TNA. Next we saw Renee catch up with or try to catch up with Brody King. And like I said, for some stupid reason, that whole Jonathan Cruz match was made. I guess because of what happened last week with MJF, Jonathan Cruz segment, and Bandito, that whole segment or whatever. So we have a match with Brody King and Jonathan Cruz, which lasted all of about 30 seconds at least. And it was nothing to it. It's not even worth mentioning. It really is not. Why? You could have had him against anybody. Heck, Ricochet, who I'm not a fan of, and that would have been more entertaining than this. Why
they literally just had to fill time. They literally just had to fill time because
they even called it the spot filler match.
They called it a standby match.
Spot filler, whatever.
When Brody was back there, he said, "We have a standby match. You gotta go to the ring." That's the first time I ever heard that term. So I was like, "What the heck is a standby match?" So I looked it up, and the whole term and definition is like to fill time.
Yeah.
For just to get something on the program. And I was like, well, obviously that's exactly what this is.
Go ahead, Kenny and Josh.
I don't think right.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever.
That's the first time I ever heard of a standby match.
Yes.
Like that term.
But not only that, but it's the first time I've ever really seen them execute.
Acknowledge it.
That too. Like I've never seen them
obviously we're just here to fill time, but we're going to be doing it. So get out there.
So I don't know. That's completely different from AEW. I've never seen them just actually acknowledge and execute said match like this.
Like I've always known that those short matches that AEW has been doing for pretty much their entire existence. It's just to fill time, but they acknowledged it for once this time, and they said the term for it. I was like, interesting. Go ahead.
Have you ever gone to just a TV taping? Like, I'm not talking live show and then taping happened. Did you ever go to just like a straight taping?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because I went to one about a year or two ago. It was in June, and they did Collision, they did Rampage, and they did Ring of Honor. And there was matches that happened that didn't even make the show on TV.
Yeah.
And I was like, so basically y'all kept us in this arena for 6.5, 7 hours to pick 4 matches from the 25 matches you had tonight. Like, the fuck?
I've been a part of AEW programming where they obviously do the live show, but then they tape the rest of it. And I know that's not what technically you're talking about, but like they do so many matches to like keep you there for 6-7 hours, like you say. And then I checked these shows out, like the Ring of Honor tapings that they always do. They did like 8 matches for Ring of Honor, but only like 3 of them showed up on that week's episode. And then like the rest of it is like for weeks after. So like, I mean, like, dude, I get what you're trying to do, but 7 hours, I want to go home.
Yeah, that's insane.
Well, at that time, we had a Rampage. Then, like Jack said, like they did the tapings down in Jacksonville. They had, Dark and Dark Elevation.
Right, yeah.
Oh, jeez, we're going way back.
Yeah.
But that also was a great time for young independent talent to actually get some experience because obviously the pandemic was just a pandemic. So
rough.
That was a good thing by Tony Khan and allowing them to be a part of that.
The next match we had the Young Bucks, Jet Speed versus Don Callis family, and of course, I don't like how they just shortened their name from Gates of Agony to just GOA, but a little bit of a nitpick for me. I don't like that at all. It just sounds stupid. But GOA, again, I'm not a fan of multi-man, just chaos matches that they love to do because they just do them too much. So like I said, I don't know, a typical multi-man match. I'm not even really, and this is probably a hot take, I'm not even really a fan of the Young Bucks matches anymore, really. I don't know. I just feel like I've seen enough of them to where I kind of know what to expect. And I don't know, they're just not my cup of tea. It's cool to see that they've kind of gone back to, again, what we've known them to do. It just feels like, early AEW days, seeing them back in all this, the tassels and the bright colors and the bandanas and whatever. That's
the cash
cool,
flying out at them and everything. Like,
that's cool and everything. But in terms of their matches, I'm just not really a fan of it. like I feel like I know what to expect with their matches. I've seen
Well, you
enough of
see
them.
one, you see them all. It's
As I'm
all
saying,
super kicks, and then
all super
you
kicks
go
are all
home.
high spots. They're gonna
It's a
do
super
some.
kick party.
Yeah,
They're if it's a specialty match with ladders, they're gonna do 4 flips off the ladder.
the
I've
Canadian
seen
a
it all
Canadian
before.
Destroyer, maybe an Indie Taker. I mean, or
Occasionally
TK
they'll pull something
Taker Driver. I
out
don't
of the
know.
hat that I haven't seen, and I'll be like, oh my god, that was insane. But for the most part, I'm like, okay, I've been there, done that, seen that. So,
I'm always
but
gonna love them just because they're
yeah.
the Young Bucks and they're great. But like, it's yeah, you're right.
To get you guys' thoughts on this match, Phil, I'm gonna start with you.
Like the thing is, like when it comes down to like high like spot matches like this, obviously they're fun. They're always gonna be a good time. Um, but in terms of the winner, them actually having Doyle, Jake something, and Mark Davis winning this thing, I personally like it. I do. The
What?
the thing is, the only reason why the only reason why is because I needed AEW to actually do something with this tag team, because to me, I feel like they actually seem like they could be something. Out of every single member of the Don Callis family, and keep in mind there's like 98 of them, I'm gonna keep reiterating that until they just completely just delete them all out of existence. First of all, they look like they could honestly just be brothers at this point. Like you take a look at them, they could be
Yeah,
brothers.
that's fair. That's fair.
But like they look legit, and they honestly looked really good in this tag team match here. Jake something has always been
Monster.
a talent to me. Like I always thought that like he really could have been something, especially in TNA. And I don't mean you guys know what I mean with all the whole somethings and everything. This is his name. I get it. Ridiculous. But
That's something.
he really could have been he really could have been a key factor in TNA. They didn't have him a part of like a long-term deal of a contract. That's fine. He comes to AEW. He is number 98, and now he's teaming up with Mark Davis, and it should be something to look into. I like it. I don't think they're winning the 10-team titles by any means, but at the end of the day, they made these two look like credible threats, and I dug it.
Okay, so hold on, time out.
What?
I got so caught up in conversation because we've talked about so much in this particular program. I got so caught up in talking about the Young Bucks, okay, that I forgot about the winner of this match. Now, when the winner of this match, when I saw the winners of this match, okay, and then they announced that they are the number 1 contenders for the World Tag Team titles, I said, excuse me?
Well, that's what the match is for.
You have the Gates of Agony. You have Young Bucks. You have Jet Speed.
Credible tag teams.
You have I'm saying credible tag teams. And you go with Davis and Doyle, who sound like a horrible law firm, by the way. And why? I don't understand. And then on top of that, then you have FTR come out, and the crowd is just confused because now, like I said, you have Davis and Doyle who are heels. You have FTR who are currently heels, and the people are just like, who do we even root for in this? Like, what is even happening right now? Now, are they an interesting tag team, Davis and Doyle? Yeah, sure. I don't mind them, I guess. Should they be number 1 contenders? Absolutely not. Now, I think this was probably done to avoid yet again another Bucks versus FTR, because I don't think anybody wants to see that, at least not right now. But I think if we do go that route, it's rejuvenated again, because now you have the like original Bucks, this revamped babyface Bucks versus a heel FTR. So again, it's a little bit different just with that, revamped or newer take on that dynamic, heel versus face. that I think would be a little bit more interesting. Even if you had gone Jet Speed, I think Jet Speed versus FTR would have been interesting, but not Davis and Doyle versus FTR.
The thing is,
no.
any of those other teams, I just would have kind of written them off.
That's how I feel about Davis and Doyle.
And I'm not, and Davis and Doyle, yeah, sure, they're not going to become the tag team champions. I get that. But to me, I just needed to have them feel legit, look credible, and even though this was their first time ever teaming up, they wreaked havoc. They looked really good together, and now you can build some sort of momentum with these two as a tag team. They're going to lose. That's obvious. And I'm not saying that they should win the tag team titles. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, though, is as long as they look credible and they are like a legitimate threat, they can be something other than the 96 members of this group.
You know what's funny too, though? Like they wrecked shop just like I would have expected Archer and Brian Cage to do when they were a tag team. So,
I mean, when I said AEW should go back to the way they did things, I didn't mean, hey, we bring a new talent in or new talents in and they're automatically number one contenders. They kind of grew away from that for a while, and now it's kind of back.
They went back, yep.
And Jet Speed, it's like, okay, yeah, they didn't win number one contendership for the tag titles, but now they have the consolation prize. They're trios champions with Hangman. So, win-win for Jet Speed, I guess. They seemed pretty happy about it. They shook each other's hands, high-fived, and slapped each other in the ass when they walked away from their interview. Happy to the fact that they were getting trios title shots because Hangman said it was happening.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this new tag team. I mean, I gave them my own name, but they looked a little more jacked last week than they did this week. I'm just saying. They just look like a bunch of big guys now. They don't look like they just got done fucking having a 6 minute or 6 hour workout session.
Davis was always better in the tag team anyway, so I'm glad they at least put him back in that kind of position.
But last week they looked so jacked. Like it was like, man, these guys are freaking huge. Like, and then they come out this week and it looks like they just had a stack of buttermilk pancakes. Like,
well, they probably did. Catering was probably good, but at the end of the day, they're now tag team but now they're number one contenders. So I mean, go for it.
I have no room to talk. I mean, in the past 3 months, I've gained 10 pounds, but still, like. You guys went from looking like the most dangerous, jacked fucking team that can, you guys can probably lift a building, and now you're lucky if you can lift a car. What happened?
They're farmer jacked.
That's
what they are. They're farmer jacked.
They're
just chunky with a little bit of muscle. So that's all it is.
They look like they could be brothers, though, and I'm like, my God,
they do. I will agree with that.
So I was like,
similar. That's crazy. They might have been separated at birth.
Which is why, to me, I felt like this tag team was actually legitimately going to work because not only do they look really good together, but they're two dominant guys that like they could honestly wreak havoc with anybody. So make them look good, and they did. So we'll see.
Where was Andrade this week? What happened to him?
Andrade's on Collision, facing Angelico.
Of course he is. Of course he is.
Or he will be this Saturday.
What a debut last week, huh?
And I guess they're just completely forgetting this. And I guess they're just completely forgetting about the fact that the last time we saw Andrade was when he attacked Kenny. So they're just gonna drop that now too, huh?
Well, I mean, just like the last time we seen the Young Bucks and FTR feuding, the Young Bucks were set to face FTR, and then we just went away from it out of nowhere.
Well, I don't want to see that match. Like for the 5,000th time, but I get it. Yeah,
it's story. We were supposed to get it like 2 years ago, and it just got swept under the rug. Yep.
I just hope that after this Doyle and Davis and Doyle match, can we they're gonna bring back Edge and Christian. They
just call them D&D.
I'm not gonna do that.
D&D law firm. It sounds like a law firm. I'm sorry.
It does. Honestly, it does.
Same with Copeland and Christian. It sounds like a law firm to me.
They're gonna bring Cope and Christian back again, like soon.
I
And
hope, because this whole sabbatical that they're on is getting kind of long. So hurry up already.
Well,
Christian
I don't,
Copeland.
I don't know. I don't know if Cope was doing any more filming for whatever show he was on.
I
Oh,
didn't
no,
even know he was
Copeland's
filming.
doing a
I had
movie.
no idea.
He was doing a movie.
Copeland's doing a
Okay.
movie, yeah.
Because
God,
I didn't know if he was doing the that show that he's on.
Well,
I don't know what
yeah,
what's
I know.
going
I know
on
what
there.
you're talking about. But Tony just recently did an interview. I forget who with, and they asked him about the whole the whole thing with WWE and Adam Copeland going for John Cena, being on TV and all those rumors. And the guy asked, like, hypothetically, if they would have asked, what would you have said? He would have said
Percy Jackson.
Copeland's filming a Hollywood movie right now, so it wouldn't have happened. So I was like, okay.
I don't think it would have happened anyway, but yeah.
Copeland, Christian, and now I was going to say Copeland, Christian, and Collie the Cocker Spaniel. You have Copeland, Christian, and Collie.
They might be careful. They might get ideas. You know that
If they come out with a dog
have some
called
idea.
named Collie the Cocker Spaniel.
AEW might do something like that. I don't have a feeling. I don't know why.
Told you they can hire me.
The next match we had was Willow Nightingale, Harley Cameron, and Chris Statlander versus the Triangle of Madness. I mean, I don't care. I really don't. I guess this is more the prelude to the Babes of Wrath, and they're calling themselves. Their next tag team title defense being against the Sisters of Sin, I would hope.
Yeah.
And then Statlander's next title defense would be against Tekla, which I'm not a fan of. But what else is she gonna do? I really don't know what else is left for Statlander to do, or what her next big defense is. Her last big defense, like I said, was against Mercedes, and that was about it. So I don't know where she goes from there. So I mean, the only way, the only next defense I could think of would be Tekla, because they've been feuding with the Triangle of Madness for quite a while now. Or no, actually, I take that back. Our last big title defense was against Jamie Hayter. So
Right.
I mean, unless they do Jamie again, which I'm all for, because that match was actually really good. Yeah, so I guess they're gonna move on to Tekla. So we'll see what happens there. Tekla ended up being the one, interestingly enough, she being the one to pin Chris Statlander 1, 2, 3 to win this match for the Triangle of Madness. So again, I just think that's the prelude for some title matches to happen at some point down the line with involving these three in their respective matches. To get your guys' thoughts on this match, if any, Mike, your thoughts on this match?
I mean, I guess I could just say the same thing all the time, that Tekla just looks out of place in that group. She does. That's number one. Number two, I mean, if that's going to be the setup for the Sisters of Sin to go after the tag team titles, great, but then put them on them. I get Willow and Harley Cameron, they're doing good things as women's tag team champions, I think. But I feel like it would be a better move. Like, you got your happy moment of putting the women's titles on who you put them on. Great. Now let's get serious with these titles and put them on a tag team that could have more challengers. Because right now, who would really challenge Willow and Harley for those belts? Even if the Sisters of Sin faced them and lost, who'd be next? That'd be the question. And Chris Statlander's title reign, is it safe to say it has hit a dead end?
It's fallen now, for sure.
Called that one about 3 months ago when she won the fucking thing, didn't I?
I'm not saying that you didn't.
Sure did. Just saying.
I get
and
it.
I'm not trying to be an asshole about it either, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I called that. Her title reign was going to hit such a big dead end. They weren't going to do anything with it. They've done nothing with it. They should have kept the belt on Toni Storm, because now look where Toni Storm's at. Ridiculous.
Some sort of relationship with Orange Cassidy.
Yo, I don't know what happened to her. She's off in freaking La La Land now. I don't know what happened to her, dude.
Exactly. This
That's
match was,
crazy.
as far as this match, it was good. It was an okay match. It was all right. They got done what they needed to get done. Good for them.
Phil?
The Triangle of Madness took on all of AEW's women's champions tonight. And I'm not counting, obviously, Mercedes Moné because Mercedes is not an AEW champion anymore. The fact of the matter is, this is always going to be, happening with the Triangle of Madness versus the AEW women's champions because they've been telegraphing this for a little while now. We'll see if the Sisters of Sin can get those tag team titles. I've been wanting those two to get those tag team titles from the very beginning of these tag team titles being a thing. Cam, you know that very well. Mike, you know that very well because I was very adamant that a legit tag team in that women's division get those tag team titles. And I don't fault anything in terms of Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron. It was a great moment for them, a great pop too. But at the end of the day, it was unsustainable. You can't always just rely on the big pop and the big kind of circumstance of having the babyface tag team get the win just to get one over on the tag team division and make it seem like it's like sunshine and rainbows over here. You have to give them to a credible and legit tag team. And that's what the Sisters of Sin are. Tekla, I thought, they were actually going to be doing something with her and actually make her look like some sort of legit threat in this division. Obviously, I was wrong on that because you can't actually book somebody like Tekla for the life of you when she seems like she's going to be an absolute badass and then just talk circles and just do whatever you need to do with that. She's going to lose to Chris most likely. And that sucks for her because obviously, the reign is now getting stale. And I was afraid of this happening, but I just did not want it to. And obviously, now that it has, I just got to bite the bullet and just accept the fact that AEW and Tony Khan just can't book women's champions for the life of them. And unless their name is Tony Storm. And even at that point, sometimes depending on how long the reigns are, it's just what you got to do. It is what it is. We'll see if Sky and Julia can get the job done, and I hope they do, but it's far too gone now. They should have been the inaugural champions from the start.
We'll definitely have to see what happens there. What is next for the women's tag team championships, and of course the women's champion and Chris Stylander. Next segment, which is pretty much irrelevant to talk about now, was the prelude to what is their names again? The Jet Speed Cowboys or whatever.
Jet Speed Cowboys
challenging for the AEW Trios Championships. They are the new Trios champions. Powerhouse Hobbs is seemingly a free agent now, headed his way out of AEW into the WWE, supposedly. So we'll definitely have to see the development on that story, and if that does come true.
Where does he even fit? That's
I don't know.
Watch him be a Vision member.
Powerhouse in WWE. Where does he fit? He could be a new third member to the New Day. He can be there heavy. He can fill into where Big E was, but he'd be a heel. You would hate him being a part of the New Day, and
I would hate him being a part of the New Day. Yes, because it's obvious. Because it would be an obvious thing of like, oh yeah, they're just trying to replace Big E, and I don't ever like the thought of that.
They attempted to do that early on, though.
Yes, I know that. And what happened? It was Grayson Waller, and it sucked.
No, it wasn't Grayson Waller. They attempted to do it with somebody else. I forget who it was.
Odyssey Jones.
Oh, Odyssey Jones. And then all of a sudden, the stuff happened with him.
Okay.
But regardless, I didn't like that. I didn't like that either, though.
Wasn't a bad look, though.
I didn't mind it because either he was completely different than Big E.
He was, and so would Powerhouse Hobbs.
He was a new heavy like Big E, but he was completely different than Big E. So you can't ever really replace Big E. You can always add another member, And of course, again, people are going to complain and go, "Oh, they're trying to replace Big E." But if you really just look at it and go, "Well, this person's personality and what they bring to the group is completely different than Big E," they're not replacing Big E.
If you think of it though, how much would that elevate the New Day with their heel persona if somebody would interview them and be like, so you're basically bringing this person in to replace Big E, and they just look at the camera and be like, you're damn right.
Oh yeah, that would get
Well, yeah, I
so
mean,
damn
that's
right.
obvious.
Like,
That's what they would do.
Instead of saying, no, we're not. We're just bringing this new person in to help whatever, yada, yada. No, you're damn right. We're trying to replace him because he was nothing to this group. He did absolutely nothing for us. He didn't do anything to help us out, blah, 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 blah. Like,
I'm not saying that wouldn't work for them.
Continue with what they did in that first promo as heels.
I have an idea. How about instead of that, you have him as the heavy of one Carmelo Hayes?
But he's a babyface now.
What if you turned him heel?
If they would turn him heel, though, they would have to do something really. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. They would just have to do something to really, really highlight it and get steam under it. Like, they would have to, like, if they catch traction with it from the beginning, they better keep it rolling and don't just have Carmelo Hayes be where he's already at. Yeah, he's the United States champion. That's great. Why did you put the U.S. title on him? Just to get that final end of the year, like, holy crap moment? Did it work? It did.
They did it to shut a lot of people up.
That's what I mean.
Realistically,
they would really have to make noise if Powerhouse Hobbs came in and was with Carmelo Hayes, and they would have to make it like a huge turn.
I think they could still. I think they could still have them as his heavy, and not turn him heel. Does that make sense? Like, just have him as the guy that's like watching his back type thing. If that makes any sense.
It does.
So I don't know. I think they can still make it work and not turn Carmelo Hayes heel. Like, personally, I agree with what you were saying about, like, did they just put the championship on him just for shock value? I think they did. I really don't trust that United States Championship reign is going to go anywhere for him. They
did it to shut everybody up because they were saying that it's been far too long with him out of the championship anyway, when he was number one pick.
Create a moment, even if you have to tell people like, hey, Carmelo Hayes is going to be doing like a meet and greet here. You can create this moment with the fans to where, oh, like, we're in this city. Carmelo Hayes is going to do a pop-up meet and greet here. We need fans to come and see Carmelo, whatever. Fans will show up and get the fans excited. Like, be like, oh, like in 10 minutes, Carmelo Hayes, and then get your camera ready. The crowd's going nuts, everything like that. And then as Carmelo's walking in and fans are trying to get near him, like, Powerhouse Hobbs can be like, back up, or just like not saying it, but like back and be. But Powerhouse Hobbs can be that guy that just doesn't say anything, and he looks like one of those mean tough guys, like just trying to protect Carmelo Hayes. And Carmelo Hayes could be the guy trying to like get him to break.
There you go.
But then work up a moment like 3 months later, to where Powerhouse Hobbs is like, he just out of nowhere, just after a match, Carmelo loses. Carmelo can like have a small moment to where he blames Powerhouse Hobbs, and then Hobbs can just like turn on him.
You could do that too.
Put Powerhouse Hobbs in a successful situation, will possibly becoming the next United States champion.
Yeah, I don't mind.
I think the guy could be money on his own, but the only thing that kind of hurts him in my regards when it comes down to him just being alone is his mic work, because we haven't really seen much of that, and that's the only thing to where I would kind of just push back on that.
I think believe it or not, I think his mic work is going to be a lot better under WWE.
I agree with that.
Because now he has the machine behind him versus none. So.
And he'll get a lot more comfortable too. But I'm just saying, like, in terms of like him just being a solo act, we haven't seen much of him on the mic, so it's kind of hard for me to figure that out now.
And again,
but they'll figure it out with him.
And again, you don't you don't have the senile old man suffering succotash behind
Exactly.
him.
Right.
So yeah.
So he'll figure it out. It's just a matter of where he fits best, and it's not like the whole New Day thing. It's not like they wouldn't use that obviously to get more heat. Obviously, you say you're replacing Big E to get that more heat. That's obvious. Um, but I just think there's just so much more to Powerhouse Hobbs than just being
a heavy. I get that.
Give
that
him a
guy.
mouthpiece.
Yeah.
If the mic skills aren't that great, give him a
I ju-
mouthpiece.
I just hope that they just do not do a vision thing because they do not need that at
Yeah,
all.
I don't think he fits in the vision in general at all anyway. So
They already have
I
their
mean-
two big guys.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Paul Heyman would be a great guy for him to learn from, but he doesn't need to be a
for
part of
sure.
that.
Absolutely. The next thing we saw, we got the announcement of the Rascals being free agents, leaving TNA, and now are going to be part of AEW. So again, I mean, we talk about Powerhouse Hobbs going to WWE. Where does he fit in? What are they going to do with the Rascals? Personally, I don't
Absolutely
think they're going to
nothing.
do anything. They're going to be probably on Ring of Honor behind the Honor Club, or they're going to be on Collision. So I literally give it like 2 weeks, and the hype is going to die down if you ask me. So
There's hype to it.
well, some people who are fans
there are
of
fans that are very excited
the
about this,
Rascals,
yes, but
are
Good for
probably
them.
hype right now. So,
Good for them.
but we'll see what happens there.
That popped up on the screen. Oh, the Rascals are coming. I'm like, oh,
I mean, that was my reaction too. I was just like, okay, I guess.
cool.
But-
Sure.
I love all four of them. I think that like the thing is like in terms of like where they would fit, obviously AEW being like that kind of high flying type of thing where all tag teams kind of go to. Yeah, sure, they're gonna have great matches here. That's not a given. Like that's obvious, but yeah, it's not gonna be like groundbreaking type of scenario here.
They're not like game changers. So
Yeah.
but
You know what? It's a good thing for them though, because at least like they may have left
They
the
got
ranks of
somewhere to work.
TNA,
Yeah.
but they're here in AEW now, and
they got somewhere to work.
they got somewhere to work. But yeah, it's kind of weird though that as soon as TNA is getting that TV deal with AMC,
Mm-hmm.
all of the Rascals leave. Jake, something is gone,
Mm-hmm.
and who know like. I don't know if anybody else is gone either now, but
So I looked
people
that
are
up
leaving.
too because I thought that was very strange. And apparently there's a thing where I guess number one, I don't know if you heard about this, but late last year, a lot of those contracts were expiring with a lot of big names. And then they were also like requiring a lot of their talent to take like a 30% pay cut because of like budget cuts or whatever. So I think a lot of big names just booked it. They said screw that and just left. So I think they're going to lose a lot of big names. They're still retaining some core names of that roster, but a lot of big names I think are leaving because of that reason. So yeah, it sucks. It is a very odd time for them to be losing all these big names as they are making their AMC debut. But hey, it is what it is. So
Myron was actually slated to face Slater tomorrow, but then all of a sudden when like that got cut or whatever now, and obviously he's a part of the company.
They have a pay-per-view coming up this weekend. Genesis.
Yeah. But apparently, like from what the report is saying, because I have it pulled up here, Myron and Desmond were actually not even under a TNA contract, like full time. They were doing like part-time, like per appearance type basis. And then when it comes down to Miguel, and then Miguel and Zachary Wentz, they were a part of a TNA, but their contract expired at the December 31st. So they just let it expire, and all four of them, stars aligned, they're all free agents, and they signed with AEW.
It's a pretty good match card. Genesis.
Oh yeah, it's a good looking card, man. Yeah, it's a good looking card.
Nick Nemeth going for the world title
against Frankie Kazarian.
Frank Kazarian, yeah. The Hardys are defending against Vincent and Dutch, the Righteous. Leon Slater's defending the X Division title against Moose and Cedric Alexander in a triple threat. JDC in his retirement match against Eddie Edwards. I haven't seen an Eddie Edwards match in a while. Mustafa Ali against Elijah. AJ Francis against Rich Swann. Like, this is a good looking card. Shit.
Yeah,
Cool.
no, but like TNA, they're on the rise, man. Especially with that TV deal. I'm finally going to be able to watch them weekly.
15.
Yeah, that should be good. Like I said, that should be good
Saturday.
for their ratings in general. So I don't know. We'll definitely
And now
have to see.
there's a wrestling show every single day of the week, or the weekdays. Then Saturday and Sunday pay-per-views for whatever.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
But gentlemen, we have reached the main event. The main event saw the World Championship being defended. MJF putting his World Championship on the line against none other than Bandito. Bandito came out decked out in a whole new entrance get up I've never seen before. He looked like a video game character. That was interesting. This
You
match
think he was about to win the title, and then all of a sudden, nope,
no,
not happening.
absolutely not.
Not at all.
This was an okay match. I can't necessarily say this was one of the better MJF matches. To me, it felt more like he was kind of working off, I feel like, ring rust from just like singles matches. I think because he hasn't had a whole lot of singles matches. They were talking about that on commentary. He hasn't really had a lot of singles matches as of late. So it was definitely kind of a slow paced. I don't know, just momentum from him during the course of this match, but still good. I mean, it was still pretty decent for what we got here. Obviously not surprised that MJF ends up retaining the championship. To Mike's point, because Mike had made this point about Brody King turning on Bandito after this match. I thought that was going to happen because he came out after the match. He's hugging him. I was expecting like a vicious clothesline.
Yeah,
from
same.
Brody King.
That's what I thought.
I felt it coming, and it just didn't happen. So I was kind of surprised by that. But get you guys' thoughts on this match. Phil, I'm start with you.
That's exactly what I thought. I thought that we were just going to be getting Brody King just absolutely annihilating Brody, Bandito afterwards. It didn't happen.
Bandito, yeah.
It didn't happen. Maybe it still could. I don't know, but
Maybe.
I mean, but regardless, I thought the match was fine. I definitely see where you're coming from though, Cam, in terms of like him getting that ring rust off, maybe because he hasn't been wrestling in a little while. But the thing is, when it comes down to Bandito, I think even though first of all, he was never going to win the world title tonight. I know, like, people they love Bandito. People honestly thought that Bandito was like a wrestler of the year type candidate for 2025. He's fantastic, and that's not anything to scoff out at. But he was never going to win the world title. I think he honestly can still be, though, a part of major singles championships type of feuds if they ever want to use him, because he's honestly he's a really good talent. But you can't just obviously make him a world champion. It's obvious, but we'll see what they do with Bandito moving forward. I am looking forward to that turn whenever it does eventually happen. But MJF was gonna always retain, and he's got a lot more other challengers to worry about than Bandito. So good match though.
I still think the turn can happen. I mean, they could do a segment next week to where, Brody calls Bandito out and says like, hey, just has like a conversation with him and says, look, like, even though you didn't win the world title, we're going to move forward, yada, yada, yada. And as they're leaving the ring, he can attack him and be like, you didn't win the AEW world title? Fine. Then I'm coming for that Ring of Honor world title. Like, he could still go after him.
Yeah.
And he can still do it. They did leave room for that to happen. So I wouldn't, erase that thought yet, because they did leave the room. It was a good match for the world title. Not bad. We knew, again, MJF was going to retain. That's obvious, especially with all the buildup with Kenny and Swerve and Hangman and Samoa Joe and Jimmy and
a lot
Timmy
more other
and,
challengers.
Jimmy, Timmy, and Tommy and John and everybody. The whole list.
Von Cal's family, along with those two.
Yeah. But like it was still a pretty decent match. Some cool moment. Like there was some cool moments too. Like that whole rolling around like the pin thing. I thought Bryce Remsburg was going to pass out. I did. You look at his face and it's like, dude, you look like you're going to pass out, dude.
Every time they have a spot like that, it's always Bryce Rumsberg
Yeah.
in those kind of matches, and he's always blown up. I feel so bad for the guy.
But kudos to him. He kept up with it and he was able to keep. Because I watched that moment and then I was like, I wonder if he actually kept up with it or did he miscount somewhere? So I rewound it and I rewatched it and I counted. I was like 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1. And I'm like, fucking hey, Bryce.
He's actually keeping up. Yeah.
Like he gets a lot of slack online from people for being a bad referee. That was good on him for doing that. Like that was hats off to him. Like that was cool, but
there are definitely times where AEW do make him look like one of the biggest idiots in terms of referees, but he did really good there. Yeah.
But I wouldn't discount the fact that Brody could still turn on Bandito. I think it can happen, and I think it could happen as soon as next week.
It honestly should. I mean, it's kind of run its course at this point. We all knew that this tag team was never going to be, years.
They're not winning back the tag team titles, so
right?
I mean,
they're too far away from them.
Yeah,
at this point,
it's not happening. So,
and Brody King should be a monstrous heel type guy. But
wasn't he originally?
Yeah, well, he was, and then he joined the House of Black.
Yeah,
and then they did nothing with them either. They did a trios run, and then nothing.
Which was awesome.
Alistair had those 2 good matches against Cody, and that was it.
Yeah.
Finito. Done. Finished.
Never had him go after a singles championship, which I felt was blasphemous, but it is what it is.
Yeah. But gentlemen, that is all I got for you for tonight for the boom for 1/14/2026. Jesus Christ, 11.
We're not at full gear again.
We're not there yet. Good grief. We're still at the beginning of the year. Good God. But now it's time to plug yourself. Phil, where can we find you?
TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, PhillyMet_, PhillyMet. And there's a lot that's going on right now in the world of pro wrestling. Like I said, just a wrestling show almost every single day now. There is a show every single day now. It's hard to keep up at times, but I'm trying. And as you can tell probably by my voice this entire show, obviously I'm not feeling well. So,
Get well soon.
It's just terrible over here with the weather and just the way that this flu is going around on the East Coast, but we'll get through it, and I'll be back making content very soon, so stay tuned to all the socials, and that's where you'll find me.
Definitely keep it with Phil and everything he's got going on. Definitely some great content coming out of the chambers from him. Mike, where can we find you?
Instagram, X, TikTok, Snapchat, Metal Mike 74. Don't do much on the personals. You can catch me on TikTok once in a while doing Fortnite streams if I feel like it. Most of my content creating done on the shows every Monday night on the table spot with Cam after Raw, and every Wednesday here with these 2 gentlemen after AEW Dynamite. Huddle Hub podcast every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with me and John. We just had our show last night. Great show. We did the first I'm trying to think of the word to say. The first installment of the Huddies, and the second installment is coming this Sunday. Why I say second installment is because Cam's got to give his Huddy Awards as well. Me and John did ours last night. Me and Cam will be live at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday morning, and Cam will be doing his part of the Huddies. Plus, we will be getting you guys ready for all the 2 games on Sunday in the NFL Divisional Round of Playoffs. I will be live on Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, getting you guys ready for Saturday's games, and plus giving you guys all the news, the coaching update with all the coaching carousel and everything going on with that. Twitch.tv/The Huddle Hub Podcast, YouTube.com/@The Huddle Hub Pod, and we're also on X and TikTok at The Huddle Hub Pod. Just posted 2 new videos last night. I'm going to be posting probably 2 more once we get off of air here. If not, I'll be posting 4 videos tomorrow. So yeah, go check that out. And I might be live over there afterwards doing my Road to Glory series tonight. If not tomorrow morning, I will be doing my Road to Glory series. So come check that out. College football.
As for me, you can find me right here every single Wednesday night with these two gentlemen talking about some AEW Dynamite. On Monday with me and Metalcore Mike on the table spot talking about some Monday Night Raw. And then, of course, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time talking about some football, doing the hoodies. I've had mine's done for like weeks now. I got mine as soon as Mike sent me the categories. I got
later,
them
I'm done.
immediately. I don't waste time with that kind of stuff.
Took me 3 weeks to pick my winners and everything. I send this man the 11 categories. 11. 10 minutes later, I'm done. I'm like, geez. I've been working on mine for 2 weeks now. You're done in 10 minutes? Like, what the fuck?
Done. I don't play around. Dead. Got it out of there. And in terms of on socials, you can find me on Cam's Wrestling Corner, where I am the most active on there. Like I said, as Phil said, a wrestling show every single day of the week now with TNA going to AMC tonight now, because now it's freaking midnight on AMC. Their AMC debut. So yeah, it's going to be even tougher to keep up with wrestling content. I guess I'm going to start doing some reviews for TNA as well. I'm trying to get back into the mix of watching SmackDown, and it's just really tough when you just have gotten out of the groove of watching wrestling on a Friday. So
and it's 3 hours now too.
Yeah,
so.
And it's also 3 hours, and I still have nightmares and cold sweats from watching Monday Night Raw on USA Network 3 hours, and that was not pleasant. So it's rough, but
3 hour SmackDowns aren't pleasant either.
It's give me some time. I'm definitely going to try to get back into it and review all of the shows and all of the content that wrestling has to put on throughout the week or whatnot have you. So definitely keep with me on there as well. And that is all. That is all I got for you. Fine, friendly wrestling folk. Love and appreciate all you guys come by and checking out the stream tonight. Of course, as I always say at the end of every stream, love, peace, and prosperity. And we are out.
Thank you.